Hello and welcome to the Spirit Guide Daily. Hey, these are daily messages that will reach you when they're meant to. They're timeless readings. Today we have the Radiant Wilds Tarot coming to you. And then we also have the Avalon Magic cards. These are Oracle, they are inspiration cards. And then these are the I have absolutely no idea cards. I can't find the box. But they are activation cards. So these readings also serve as intermediate tarot lessons to expand your understanding of particularly reversals, but the reversal meanings can also be added for people who only read in the upright as a way to expand the lexicon around the meanings for tarot readings. Let's get going here. What is the energy for the collective today? Remember, when we're in a collective, we all share energy. So we have repeating energy signatures that we are living out. We have the Page of Pentacles in the upright. That is learning life's lessons. That is a very earth-centered energy. It's very practical. It actually can be one of the cards for spell work, as in the Rider-Waite, from which all meanings are derived. The pentacle is actually levitating in the hands of the person who has it. But this is usually the start of something in the 3D. Remember, the pentacles are earth energy, so it's going to be about practical matters. It's also it can indicate younger earth signs, the pages can. So it can be about a sun, or it can be about a new romance that is starting in the 3D as well. That's coming out with death in reverse. Okay, so the death card is interesting. Death does not mean death. Death in reverse for me has a tendency to mean closure. As the death card in the upright, which is the card for the astrological sign Scorpio, means new beginnings and rebirth. Sometimes it is something beginning again, things shifting into another form. So it's a card of transmutation. Interestingly enough, it can be one of the cards for birthdays because it is about rebirth. But in reverse like this, death has a tendency to be, this is one of the few times if I see it in combination with multiple other cards, like the Three of Swords or the Six of Swords in reverse. Three of Swords in the upright, Six of Swords in reverse. It can be a literal death card. This is usually just closure. It's one of the meanings, as you connect the cards, is that you're achieving closure on a lesson that you have been working hard to learn. It's coming out with the Seven of Cups in reverse. Now, the Seven of Cups in the upright is a card of being careful with your choices. It's fantasy and illusion. Sometimes it's spell work. And honest to goodness, if you look at it, somebody looks like they're trying to conjure something in the out of thin air. In reverse like this, it's something coming into the 3D. It can be a spell landing if you do magic. It's also something coming from the dream world into the 3D world. And so it is something coming into reality. And this is part of the reason that I read reversals. The Seven of Cups in the upright really doesn't have that something coming into the 3D meaning. And I need it for the extended Celtic cross that I use. So let's take a look at what the energy says for the collective today, though. Honest to goodness, for those of you who have been trying to achieve closure on something, you have in fact learned an important lesson that will keep you safer in the 3D. Closure is sometimes something we have to choose, by the way. One of the hardest things when I'm talking to clients is when they talk about how I didn't get closure. We rarely get the closure we want from the other person, because it's usually an explanation that then makes sense to us as what we're craving. And that is sometimes something someone does not have to offer. So often the closure that we get is the closure that we choose when you decide, I'm just going to let this go. I don't want to live my whole life letting this energy rule me. So I'm just going to let it go. And when you can't get closure in the 3D, that is the way to choose it, is to decide, I don't want to be shackled to this energy for the rest of my life. I will understand it at the time that is appropriate, but for now, I'm putting this down on the road and I'm walking down my path. And that is remember, half the time people don't even understand why they did what they did. So the closure that people crave, they want an explanation that sometimes the person doesn't even possess. All right, let's see what the activation card is. Empowerment. The frequency of empowerment supports our ability to show up fully and completely, uniting us with others in deep trust that we are all connected through the same source. Now, this is all true. We are all connected, but our choices determine our path. It is actually very important to understand when somebody has chosen a different path. Not everybody wants a spiritual journey or will go on one. And you need to recognize that if you are on one. Now, part of the reason I'm holding this up here for so long is that you can screenshot it and take a look at it as an activation mandala. I like these cards very much. They're very good to meditate with. I think they're simply called activation cards, but I genuinely no longer remember. I'm surrounded by decks. What you can't see is that I'm in the middle of a deck hoarding situation every single time I'm filming a video. I look across the room and can see, oh gosh, I just don't even know how many decks, but a lot of them. Let's get going here. Listen. The hardest lessons to learn sometimes are those times when we have to choose to simply move forward, to choose closure, to choose our own peace. And with empowerment, that is one of the most empowering energies. It is easy to love and accept the light side of oneself. It takes courage to acknowledge and love the darker side. Hey, we all have it. I'm always telling people, figure out who your monster is, make it work for you, put it on a leash. Because we all have this creepy thing in our basement that is part of our soul, that contains all of our lesser aspects. It is completely normal. It is completely human. Forgive yourself for having what you're meant to have. We have duality within. We have dichotomy within. We are, here's the thing. A spiritual journey would not involve the idea of spiritual evolution unless it was something that we were actively working for and choosing to grow, to leave behind a lesser part of our nature. Now, lesser is an interesting term for that. It just is one that is in lower vibration and more involved in 3D aspects and is not as connected to your higher self, being in alignment with your higher self or with your authentic self. And people do come here to have a strictly 3D experience. It is part of a learning process. If you're on a spiritual evolution journey, then you too have had journeys where you did not care about spirituality. You perhaps were very centered on gain in a materialistic sense. We all go through different learning experiences. That's what our lives are. So when you meet somebody who's not on the same path with you, understand that you need to let them go on their path, because we can't determine another's path. Only that person can do that. It is individual choice. We can give them suggestions, but then we have to respect their right to free will and making their own choice. So you cannot force somebody to be on the same journey with you. But by the same token, if you are on a spiritual journey, understand that you've had lifetimes in which you did not have the same values, you did not have the same goals, and you did not have the same level of understanding. The understanding is built a layer at a time, and some people really are here just to have their 3D experience. So an empowering idea is to look at the relationships in your life and determine what part of your particular elemental influences it serves. And whether it's helping to teach us a lesson, as with this particular draw, or whether it's to help us experience more of we are an energetic expression of the universe here to have an experience, and the 3D matters. So that's the earth energy, the intellectual energy of air matters, the emotional energy of water matters, and then the impulsiveness, the creativity, and the drive of fire all matters. And you are meant to have all four elements in balance, so that when people start talking about transcending this experience, they're actually not in a balance that will help with their journey as much as they think they are, because the 3D matters. And this is an incredibly 3D draw. So while you are looking at empowerment, please understand that this lesser aspect, the 3D aspect, the part that kind of, I want to say, anchors you to this reality, your earthly self matters. All of the baser desires, the enjoyment of life, we are meant to live in a balance with them. That was a strange spirit guide daily, but there you go. It was a big old lesson. Please remember, the people who are choosing a different path, let them go on it, because they will simply slow you down and frustrate you. If you are going on a spiritual evolution, please remember, this is earth sign energy all over the place. We only get to be here for a finite time. Enjoy your earthly body as well. All right, that was the Spirit Guide Daily for today. Hey, take care, be well. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It helps my channel. If you like the reading, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'll see you next time.